Hi guys, it's Craig Henderson again. Okay, so the first video that I had was just a wee bit of a trailer. We're now going to look at the actual, or start to get into the nuts and bolts of it. So a wee bit of an introduction to it. So just a very light start to it. So here is a quote from Reshma Saujani, who's an American lawyer. She says, "Computer science is not just for smart nerds and hoodies coding in the basements. Coding is extremely creative and is an integral part of almost every industry." Albert Einstein kind of, to a point, backs that up, saying imagination is more important than knowledge. One of the key skills that I feel that our pupils need to have and should have through not just the National 5 Computing Science course, but any computing science course, is creativity and imagination. They need to be able to imagine and create solutions to their problems, not only in software design and development, but web design as well. They need to be able to analyze and decompose problems in databases, and just generally across the board. All of the skills in all 4 units interlinks between each other. So it's critical for them to have these skills and be able to develop and nurture these as they're going through. Okay, so what does the National 5 course contain? There's 2 halves to it. Well, it used to be 2 halves. Now, based on the weighting, it's actually 1/3 course, roughly 1/3 coursework, or 4/10 if you're going to be precise, and roughly 6/10 examination. Okay, so 39% coursework, 61% examination. So coursework is distributed roughly the end of January, beginning of February time, due in roughly the middle of March. It's a set piece of work each year by the Scottish Qualifications Authority. It's usually broken down in 3 distinct tasks: one on software development, one on databases, and one on web design. Computer systems being the 4th unit, it's asked about, and it's about 10% of your marks in the final examination. Each of the 3 tasks are designed that you can actually physically go through them, and they don't need to be done in order. They can be done independently. So, for instance, you could do task 1, then task 3, then task 2, task 2, 3, and then 1, and so on. The assignment's got 50 marks, or the coursework's got 50 marks, which, as I said previously, it's 31% of the overall marks of the whole course. The whole course is out of 160, so your exam paper is out of 110. So, as I said, the coursework is made up of 3 distinctive tasks: one from the unit of software design and development, one from database design and development, and one from web design and development. So your programming one, the software design, is worth 25 marks, which is half of your marks, 50% of your marks, because the coursework is out of 50s and this is out of 25. Your database design and development and web design and development, task 2 and task 3, although no, they don't always kind of fall in that order. Sometimes software is task 2 and databases is task 1, and so on. But just for the purposes of this, I'm going to call them task 1, task 2, task 3. So task 2, database design and development, and task 3, web design and development, are every year range between 10 and 15 marks. Because what they've said in the arrangements is basically that database and web combined will make your final 25 marks. So, for instance, 1 year database could be 10 marks and your web design could be 15 marks. The next year database could be 15 marks and your web 10, or, a bit of a mixture. So, one being 12 and one being 13, and so on. Okay, so breaking down those kind of 3 tasks as a combined unit. So this is all taken from the SQA course specification document. It's public, it's not confidential. It's broken down into the 5 key areas: so analysis, design, implementation, testing, and evaluation, over the 3 areas, over the 3 units, across the 5 skill sets. Okay, so the SQA state that for your analysis part, your analysis of your program, analysis of your database, and analysis of your website, you can only be up to a maximum of 5 marks over the course of those 3 tasks. So for instance, the analysis section or the analysis question for your program may only be 1 mark, and your database might be 2 marks, and your web might be 2 marks, or a combination. Your design is only 5 marks again over the 3 tasks. I'm going to skip implementation in a minute, or just now, and I'll come back to it in a minute. Your testing and your evaluation are 5 marks each. So 20 marks are coming from analysis, design, testing, and evaluation. As you can see on the screen, implementation is the biggest percentage of your marks. It's 3/5 of your marks. So that comes from your program coding, your test tables, your database implementation, so implementing all your validation rules, your lookups, your restricted choice, your presence checks, and your web design, so your different rules, so your HTML code, your tags, being in the right order, following the user interface, implementing whether it was internal or external CSS, which again we'll break down and look at independently, and whether you've got the right CSS selectors and tags. Okay. So implementation, including writing code, is assessed in all the 3 areas of study. So your software design and development, your database design and development, and your web design and development. The other 4 skills are sampled in different areas each year. So what it's trying to do, and it's not a conspiracy, okay, but what they're trying to do is make it random, okay, so that there is no trends like in the standard grade, like in the intermediate 2, in the old systems, where teachers could kind of predict what is coming up each year, or the main topics that are coming up each year. What the SQA want to do is making sure that all pupils are covering all of the topic areas in the relevant depth. So they have a good knowledge and understanding, good background knowledge of all of the different areas going into that final examination. So for the actual exam, which is usually about April or May time, depending on where computer science falls in the examination timetable, marks are distributed across the 4 areas of study. So the 4 units: software design and development, computer systems, database design and development, and web design and development. So your software design and development, or SDD, is approximately 40% of your marks. So it's 40% of your questions. So that is a huge chunk. Computer systems is only approximately 10%. So in number of marks, the paper is at 110 marks. So approximately 11 marks out of 110 are computer systems based questions. Database design and development, DDD, or WDD, web design and development, are approximately your other 25%, your 50%. Question paper has got 2 distinctive sections. The candidates are required to answer all the questions in both sections. There is no optional, they are all mandatory. Section 1 is out of 25. It's short, sharp kind of answers. A lot of them are not interlinked. It's short answers, restricted response questions. This section allows the candidates to demonstrate the breadth of their knowledge from across the 4 section areas. Section 2 is your bigger sections, your bigger question sections. It's worth 85 marks and consists of structured questions, consisting of your restricted and extended response, so questions that build on each other. So for instance, if you had question 11, it might have A, B, C part 1, C part 2, D, and so on. This section allows the candidates to demonstrate an application of knowledge and understanding. What does that mean? So they've got a base knowledge, their base understanding, problem solving skills, but able to apply it to a context. So rather than just kind of spouting out textbook answers onto paper, they will be given a scenario and they've got to use that in the context of that question. So the section allows candidates to demonstrate application of knowledge and understanding when answering appropriately challenging context-based questions from across the 4 areas of the course. So what I've done is I've now broken it down to let you have a wee idea of what is each of the subsections in each of the 4 units. Okay, so over the next 2 slides, this slide we're going to look at units 1 and 2, which is SDD and computer systems, and then in the next slide it's unit 3 and 4, which is a database design development, DDD and WDD. Okay, so in software development, we are looking at development methodologies, analysis, design, implementation, testing, and evaluation, basically the old software development lifecycle. Computer systems, we're going to look at data representation, including binary to decimal conversion, vector graphics. Then we're going to look at computer structure, environmental impacts, and security precautions. Units 3 and 4 is database design and development, which is analysis, design, implementation, and evaluation. And web design is the same subtopics as well. A lot of pupils get kind of mistaken and think that the main life cycle of databases and web design or websites follow the same process as the software development life cycle. So development methodologies, analysis, design, implementation, testing, and evaluation. Actually, they don't have the development methodologies because they follow similar but different methodologies, such as agile and rapid application development. Okay, thanks for listening. The next video that I'm going to do is on development methodologies and analysis. Okay, thank you for listening, and I hope you took something from that. If not knowledge, then from for revisional purposes. Thanks. Bye.